My beloved child, don't skip this message. Listen carefully because this story begins with an unexpected knock at the door, not as a prediction of future events, but as a fictional, inspirational message about hope, faith, and staying ready for life's unexpected blessings. Stay till the end because what happened next changed everything, and the lesson hidden within this story may encourage your heart in ways you never expected. For a long time, one person believed nothing exciting would ever happen again. Every day looked the same. Every morning felt ordinary. They had prayed for change, hoped for new opportunities, and waited through long seasons of uncertainty. Slowly, they began to believe that perhaps life had already passed them by. But they could not see what was quietly unfolding beyond their view. Sometimes, while we are busy believing that nothing is changing, God is preparing something we could never arrange on our own. Listen carefully because this changes everything. One evening, while sitting quietly at home, they felt a gentle reminder to stop worrying about tomorrow and instead focus on living faithfully today. They organized forgotten papers, reached out to someone they had not spoken with in a long time, and chose gratitude over discouragement. None of those actions seemed extraordinary. Yet they would soon discover that small acts of faithfulness often prepare the way for unexpected opportunities. What happened next changed everything. The following days brought news they had never imagined receiving. It was not because a dramatic miracle suddenly appeared from nowhere, but because the choices they had made over many months finally began to bear fruit. A long-awaited opportunity arrived. An encouraging conversation opened a new door. A relationship that had been strained began to heal. Looking back, they realized that what seemed sudden had actually been developing quietly for a long time. My beloved child, if you have been waiting for something good to happen, let this story remind you that unexpected news is not always about dramatic surprises. Sometimes it is the arrival of peace after anxiety. Sometimes it is an opportunity you thought had disappeared. Sometimes it is the courage to begin again after disappointment. God's work often unfolds through ordinary moments that become extraordinary when viewed with gratitude and faith. Stay till the end because something beautiful is waiting for you. Do not spend so much time fearing tomorrow that you miss the blessings available today. Continue living with honesty. Continue showing kindness. Continue praying with faith. Continue preparing your heart for whatever opportunities God places before you. The future belongs not to those who live in fear, but to those who walk forward with hope. Listen carefully because this is the turning point. The greatest message of this story is not that a specific event is guaranteed to happen at your house. It is that your life can always remain open to God's guidance, unexpected encouragement, and new beginnings. Keep your heart ready. Keep your spirit humble. Keep your faith alive. Often, the most meaningful news arrives when we have learned to trust God more than our own expectations. My beloved child, this is only the beginning. In the next chapter, the person discovers why the unexpected news arrived at exactly the right time, how every season of waiting had quietly prepared them for it, and why God's timing proved wiser than anything they could have planned themselves. Stay till the end. The most powerful part of this story has not yet been revealed. My beloved child, don't skip this message. Listen carefully because the story is becoming even more meaningful. The unexpected news did not arrive in the way anyone imagined, and that is what made it so unforgettable. Stay till the end because what happened next changed everything. This is a fictional, inspirational story about faith and hope, not a prediction of specific future events, but its message may encourage you to look at life's surprises with new eyes. The person in this story woke the next morning expecting another ordinary day. They followed the same routine, completed the same tasks, and assumed nothing unusual would happen. But sometimes the greatest changes begin on the most ordinary days. A simple phone call, an unexpected letter, or an encouraging conversation can become the beginning of a completely new chapter. At first, they almost ignored the opportunity because it seemed too small to matter. Later, they realized that many of God's greatest blessings begin quietly. Listen carefully because this changes everything. The news they received was not valuable simply because it was unexpected. It was valuable because it arrived after they had learned patience. Months earlier, they might have overlooked it, rushed into it, or failed to appreciate its significance. But now their heart had changed. They had become more grateful, more discerning, and more willing to trust God's timing instead of their own. What happened next changed everything. As they reflected on the journey behind them, they noticed that every delay had served a purpose. The waiting had strengthened their faith. The disappointments had taught resilience. The unanswered questions had led them to depend more deeply on God. Looking back, they could see that nothing had been wasted. Even the seasons they once wished away had prepared them for this new opportunity. My beloved child, heaven reminds you that unexpected blessings are often recognized only by hearts that have learned to wait with hope instead of giving up in despair. Do not underestimate the quiet seasons of your life. The habits you build today, the kindness you show today, and the faith you practice today may prepare you for opportunities that have not yet appeared. Stay till the end because something beautiful is waiting for you. Continue walking faithfully, even when progress feels slow. Continue treating others with compassion, even when life feels unfair. Continue believing that every act of integrity matters. These choices shape the person you become, and they prepare you to receive future opportunities with wisdom and gratitude. Listen carefully because this is the turning point. The person in this story realized that the greatest news was not simply the opportunity they received. It was the discovery that God had been with them through every chapter, even the painful ones. That realization gave them a peace no circumstance could take away. My beloved child, don't lose heart. In the next chapter, heaven reveals why the blessing arrived at exactly the right moment, the unexpected lesson hidden within the waiting, and how one ordinary decision opened the door to a future they never imagined possible. Stay till the end. The best part of this journey is still ahead. My beloved child, don't skip this message. Listen carefully because you have reached the chapter where the hidden pieces of the story finally begin to fit together. The unexpected news did not arrive by accident, nor did it come before the right time. It arrived after months of preparation, quiet prayers, and faithful perseverance. Stay till the end because what happened next changed everything. This is a fictional, inspirational story meant to encourage faith and hope, not a prediction of future events. For a long time, the person in this story believed that every delay was working against them. They watched opportunities pass by and wondered why their own breakthrough seemed so far away. They questioned whether God had forgotten their prayers. Yet when they looked back, they discovered that every closed door had protected them from something they were not meant to carry, and every unanswered prayer had been shaping them into someone wiser, stronger, and more compassionate. Listen carefully because this changes everything. The unexpected news that arrived was not only about an opportunity. It was also about perspective. They realized that if the blessing had come sooner, they would not have appreciated it. They would have rushed into it without the wisdom that only time and experience could provide. God's timing had not been delaying their joy. It had been preparing them to receive it with gratitude and humility. What happened next changed everything. The person began sharing their story with others who were struggling to keep hope alive. Instead of speaking only about the blessing they received, they spoke about the lessons they learned while waiting. They encouraged others to remain faithful, to keep living with honesty, to continue showing kindness, and to trust that no season spent walking with God is ever wasted. Their testimony became a source of hope for people who had almost given up. My beloved child, if your journey feels slow today, remember that growth often happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible. Just as a seed develops strong roots before anyone sees the first green shoot, God may be strengthening your heart in ways you cannot yet recognize. Every act of patience, every prayer offered in sincerity, and every choice to do what is right is helping build a foundation for the future. Stay till the end because something beautiful is waiting for you. Do not allow fear to convince you that your story has already been written. Each new day is another opportunity to walk with faith, to extend grace to others, and to remain open to the quiet ways God works. Sometimes the most meaningful news is not found in dramatic moments but in the steady assurance that you are never walking alone. Listen carefully because this is the turning point. The person finally understood that the greatest blessing was not simply what arrived at their home. It was the peace they discovered within their heart. A peace that remained even when life was uncertain. A peace built on trusting God rather than circumstances. That peace became the true miracle. My beloved child, keep believing, keep praying, and keep growing. In the final chapter, heaven reveals the beautiful purpose behind every season of waiting, the lasting joy that comes from trusting God's wisdom, and the encouraging reminder that your best chapters are written one faithful step at a time. Stay till the end. The most beautiful ending is still to come. My beloved child, don't skip this message. Listen carefully because you have arrived at the chapter where everything that once seemed confusing begins to reveal its purpose. The waiting, the quiet prayers, the moments when you almost gave up, and the unexpected turns in your journey were never meaningless. Stay till the end because what happened next changed everything. This is a fictional, inspirational story about faith and hope, not a prediction that specific news will arrive at your home. As the days passed, the person in this story noticed that they had changed in ways they had never expected. They no longer woke up consumed by fear about tomorrow. Instead, they found themselves thanking God for each new day, even before they knew what it would bring. That simple habit transformed their outlook. They discovered that peace does not come from knowing every answer. It comes from trusting the one who walks with you through every unanswered question. Listen carefully because this changes everything. The unexpected news they had been waiting for turned out to be only one part of a much bigger blessing. The greater gift was the wisdom they gained during the waiting season. They had learned patience when everything around them urged them to rush. They had learned compassion because they understood what it felt like to struggle. They had learned humility because they realized that every good gift ultimately comes from God. What happened next changed everything. An opportunity appeared that seemed ordinary at first, but it opened the door to new relationships, fresh purpose, and a chance to encourage others who were facing similar challenges. Looking back, they realized that if they had received this opportunity months earlier, they would not have been prepared to handle it wisely. Every delay had quietly become part of their preparation. My beloved child, heaven reminds you that some of life's greatest blessings arrive disguised as ordinary moments. A conversation can change your direction. A kind word can restore hope. A decision to forgive can heal wounds that have lasted for years. Never underestimate the quiet ways God works. He often accomplishes extraordinary things through simple acts of faithfulness. Stay till the end because something beautiful is waiting for you. Continue living with integrity. Continue choosing kindness over bitterness, hope over despair, and faith over fear. Even when you cannot see the full picture, your daily choices matter. They are shaping your future one step at a time. The seeds you plant in love, honesty, and perseverance today may become tomorrow's greatest harvest. Listen carefully because this is the turning point. The person finally understood that the greatest news was never simply about what arrived at their house. The greatest news was discovering that God had been present in every chapter of their life. During the joyful seasons, the difficult seasons, and the waiting seasons alike. That realization filled their heart with lasting gratitude. My beloved child, don't lose hope now. The final chapter is still ahead. In the conclusion, heaven reveals the beautiful ending to this journey, the lasting peace that comes from trusting God's timing, and the encouraging reminder that every faithful step you take today is preparing you for tomorrow's blessings. Stay till the end. The most powerful part of this story is still to come. My beloved child, don't skip this message. Listen carefully because we have reached the final chapter of this journey. Everything you have experienced, the waiting, the unanswered questions, the quiet prayers, the moments when your faith was tested, and the hope you refused to let go of, has been leading to this beautiful conclusion. Stay till the end because the greatest message is not about unexpected news arriving at your house. It is about discovering that God has been faithfully walking beside you through every chapter of your life. This is a fictional, inspirational story meant to strengthen your faith, not a prediction of specific future events. For so long, the person in this story believed that happiness depended on one piece of news, one opportunity, or one breakthrough. They thought that once everything changed around them, peace would finally arrive. But as they reflected on their journey, they discovered something far more meaningful. Peace had begun growing inside them long before their circumstances changed. God had been healing their heart while they were busy waiting for Him to change their situation. Listen carefully because this changes everything. Looking back, they could finally see the purpose hidden inside every difficult season. The closed doors had redirected them towards something better. The delays had taught patience. The disappointments had built resilience. The lonely moments had drawn them closer to God. What once looked like obstacles had quietly become stepping stones leading them toward greater wisdom, compassion, and hope. What happened next changed everything. The unexpected news eventually came, but it was different from what they had imagined. It was not one dramatic event that solved every problem overnight. Instead, it was a series of new opportunities, restored relationships, encouraging conversations, and moments of unexpected peace that slowly transformed their life. They realized that God's blessings often arrive one faithful step at a time rather than all at once. My beloved child, heaven reminds you that the greatest miracle is not always what happens around you. Sometimes it is what happens within you. A fearful heart becomes peaceful. A discouraged spirit becomes hopeful. A wounded soul learns to forgive. A person who once doubted begins trusting God with confidence. Those quiet transformations become the foundation for every blessing that follows. Stay till the end because something beautiful is waiting for you. Do not measure your future by your past disappointments. Do not allow today's uncertainty to steal tomorrow's hope. Continue praying. Continue serving others with kindness. Continue living with honesty and gratitude. Every faithful choice you make matters. Every act of compassion leaves a lasting impact. Every step you take with God is moving you toward a future filled with purpose. Listen carefully because this is the greatest revelation of all. God's timing is never meant to create hopelessness. It is meant to prepare your heart for blessings you can receive with wisdom, humility, and gratitude. One day, you may look back on this season and thank God not only for the blessings He gave you, but also for the person He helped you become along the way. As this story comes to an end, imagine yourself standing at the doorway of a brand new chapter. You are no longer carrying the weight of fear. You are no longer defined by disappointment. Your heart is filled with renewed faith. Your spirit is strengthened by hope. Your eyes are open to the quiet ways God continues to work in your life every single day. So walk forward with confidence, my beloved child. Keep trusting when the road is uncertain. Keep loving when kindness seems difficult. Keep believing that no prayer offered with sincerity is ever wasted. The best chapters of your life are not written by fear, they are written by faith, perseverance, and God's unfailing love. The end of this story is not worry. It is peace. It is not despair. It is hope. It is not an ending. It is a new beginning. May your heart remain steady, your faith remain strong, and your life continue to reflect the love, grace, and hope that God has placed within you. The end.